So sorry. Usually I am so caught up in chat, like I glance down at chat and I see it was the coffee lid. I'm so sorry, gang. What a waste of time. Glad you're, hope you like looking at me. I just got to the mute part. I just got to the part where you pointed it out. So what I'm going to do, rather than depress myself by looking at all of your efforts to alert me that I wasn't making noise, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, see the results of the poll, and get going, okay? But what I was saying is I'm taking Thursday and Friday off, and I probably didn't say anything else important. Best of 3. Okay. You can't blah me, though. I'll say that. You can't blah me today. No, I'm rejecting it, Rob. You can have your money back, but there's no way you can blah me today. Come on. At least let's be realistic about that. Not only am I getting to the draft before quarter past, you didn't hear anything I had to say anyway. But hello, everybody. Basically, all you missed was me going down the list and saying hello to people. So hi, everybody. I think I mentioned that we'd only done best of 3 once, and that I was musing as to what was faster, best of 1 or best of 3, and I am honestly not sure what. I haven't done the math on the average expected games per event on it, but they're close. Hey, gang. Good time zone to you. The mic is on. It's Monday here on Going Optimal, and chat has spoken. We're going to try a traditional draft of Crimson Vow. Haven't done best of 3 in a bit here, so I'm into it. I had a rough weekend with this format. You know how I talk about how I feel a little behind. I just don't have the reps that everybody else, that many other people have at this point. I know there's people with me who also are on, relative to like the Luises and the Marshalls and even the most prolific players, even in my chat, are well beyond me in number of drafts. So when I did listen to maybe I'm not finished with it, but I listened to the bulk of the limited resources in which Luis expressed his dislike of the format. Honestly, he was, I think, very diplomatic and fair about it, but was honest with his opinion. And it really, the thing that stands out is the invalidation of games too often by unanswerable bombs. And I've been feeling that a little bit. And I've defended the bomb-heavy format, too, as being like, it is going to appeal to certain people more. It's going to give win rates up to certain players who would like to have their win rates up. I bet this format has delivered some trophies to some players for the first time. Congrats that you found a bomb and piloted it to your first trophy player. Well done, right? There's good reasons to have bomb-heavy formats, but when you're an experienced player in this for the mental game, it reminds me of a concept by Richard Garfield where he was talking about variance, and he was trying to make the point about that you don't injecting variance into a game, and he should know the mana system, like you can inject variance and it has your variance can be received in different ways depending on how the variance plays out. So he was saying, for example, an easy example of dissatisfying variance he came up with was variance chess. How do we introduce variance into chess? He had a very simple, elegant way to do a little more variance in chess. Play a complete game of chess, then the loser of the game of chess rolls a d10. If they roll a 10, they win the game instead. There you go, variance chess. Do you like it? No, it's obviously right. It's terrible. That's not anybody's concept of how you would introduce variance into chess in a positive way, which was Garfield's point of that thought exercise. But bomb-heavy limited has a little bit of variance chess to it, right? let's play a long game of Magic in which we're battling our wits and trying to pretend that that's what matters about this competition, and then this thing shows up that you don't even have a prayer against. Like, there's some egregious stuff. Like, I was on the positive side this weekend of having the 6-drop green, add a +1/+1, 2 +1/+1 counters, flip it, and your whole team is hexproof. Like, we were wondering whether hexproof would appear on cards again now that they've got Ward. Why doesn't that thing have Ward 4 even? Let me pay 8 mana to bleed dry that thing. You know? It's still getting impact, right? Like I'm not leaving 8 mana up, so I still get to play her and get immediate counter value before you untap and spend 8 to kill her or whatever. But no, let's give her hexproof. So you just can't even interact with her, even though we made a mechanic and wrote articles about how Ward was going to be in place of hexproof so that stupid, ridiculous bombs wouldn't be quite as annoying because you would have the dream of being able to manage them, right? So I was on like playing that and being like, sorry, here it is. You know, and so it's and I ran into the slug for the first time ever. And then in the next game, this is Premiere. So ran into the slug, lost to it, and there was no outs, right? And then I had a great moment. Then the next game, I also lost to the slug, the 7-mana slug. But here's the thing: I was playing a werewolf deck that had 2 of the uncommon werewolf that says when a wolf or werewolf you control dies, draw a card. And I was playing against the slug, and just almost to show the ridiculousness, I attacked in it was a really good attack. 3 wolves died. I drew 6 cards. I dumped all of them onto the table. Drew 6 cards, played a land, went boo, 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 and just poof, spit my hand on the table, and then scooped. So, suffice it to say, this format has caught up with me. I'm going to mark that as complete and steal Rob's money. Rob, when you blah me when I've started my spiel, you've crossed the line, buddy. That's my channel points. Sit down. So, I've certainly caught up on the bomby nature of the format, and I'm still trying to embrace it as, okay. So the format is race to the bombs or aggro them out before the bombs matter. Okay, we just have to embrace that that's where we're at, right? Happiness is the delta between expectations and reality. If that's my expectations of this format, I can be ready. I can be ready to lose to some bombs because my opponent raced me to theirs. I can be ready to lose, crash and burn because I didn't get a good aggro deck or any bombs, so I'm probably not going to have any success. Like, I got to be ready for that. Or I can try to find a good aggro deck and have a plan against 7-drops that you can't beat. So that's where I've come on that. And the other thing I wanted to say, where I've learned, where I've come up on this format is on blood tokens. I've been talking about what I think they're worth as a way to frame how I'm rising or lowering my opinion on them. And the thing, I can't remember who framed it this way for me, but it was somebody in social media. I don't think it was anybody in chat, but a framing of blood tokens that helped me was thinking about it as each one of them, when you have one out, every card in your deck has cycling one. And that's it doesn't make me bring it up to a full half mana value, but thinking about the power, I love cycling one on lands so much, right? And so when I think of each blood token as applying for basically for free, cycling one to lands, it really is, it's like, okay, that really helped click for me what's been so successful about them in the format besides the synergies, right? There's other synergies and stuff. So Bombs and blood, that's kind of what the format is. Let's see which of them we end up with here. You can end up with both if you check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. They have all the cards that make blood. They have all the bombs. You can buy them both. Just remember to use my affiliate link. Lets them know you got there from here. You know, you all do it. Thank you so much for that. Let's get into draft view. Voldaren Epicure, I still consider like a build around. I'm with LSV when I'm building around it. But I think it's like it belongs in the vampire deck and like nowhere else, right? I want to but because the cycle 1 does help me with that, because also I realize that if I conceptually think of anything that does go in the blood deck as effectively having cycle 1, it makes me like all those cards better. I think that's the key that I was missing there on something like the Epicure. Again, it's not that the Epicure is playable in a vacuum. It's that a blood heavy archetype, it belongs in a blood heavy archetype that effectively gives it cycle 1 so that I can get rid of it when I draw it on turn 7 pretty cheaply. Well, see, Rob, this is why we blah a little bit on stuff before we go into draft, because then we get this chef's kiss moment where it all comes to pass exactly as I blawed. That's where I've liked it, Media. I'll say that. You can strongly disagree. I'm going to tell you a true thing. That's where I've really come up on it and have really found it excellent. Because I have not found a home doesn't mean it has it, but I have not really found a home for it that I was happy with outside of that. Pretty easy Dreadfast Demon, of course. It's exactly what we were talking about, wanting, and then we get a Bleed Dry. This is like what you need at instant speed to beat the Dreadfast Demon. Boy, it can, but it depends on how much land you draw. One of my most frustrating losses of the weekend was one where I used like 6 blood tokens to cycle away 6 lands, and still at 19 cards left in my deck had 3 lands in my library, you know? Anyway, but this has been kind of nice in the aggro vamps. Speaking of, you know, I've been talking about the, you know, Epicure and the abstract or whatever, but this is where the blood synergies, they start to matter. This has been real. I'm gonna take it. Rocket's upset. I think that's because Clara's leaving for work. She's probably, I got you covered, Clara. Cover me, dog. Yeah, Ritual is an interesting suggestion. I've certainly been playing this because you kind of gotta. And I like the black signal. You're right. If it was a little bit better, I would. But I think I'm going to lean towards the de facto best archetype and see how that goes. And so, like, for here, I get to take a bolt now. Yeah, maybe I'm overvaluing that. But I've when it's going right, this thing closes out games. But I hear you. Can't block is a real line of downside text. But if you're, I mean, then maybe I should be playing more into the demon than worrying about like Blood Hypnotist and Demon probably aren't best buds. Because in a demon deck, you're just trying to get to this, right? And in a Blood Hypnotist deck, you're trying to get him dead before 7. So I acknowledge that too. There's a little bit of a mismatch there in intentions, jobs, plans, deck plans for those 2 cards. Here's a Grisly Ritual. Reckless Impulse has been very good. It's not really a 2-drop unless you are desperate or bold. but it's really a nice, like, 5-drop. Right. Exactly. Play this on 5 and make sure you hit the land to get to demon and just keep everything flowing. I think I like that. That's true. That's another good point. I'm talking about doing this to get to the demon, but of course, if we leave it exiled, it's gone for good. We'll have to keep that in mind too. I'm definitely picking some non-bows here to consider or to keep track of when we're deck building. Maybe just Scorpion as best card left here. Abandoning all this red, especially given the non-bow of Impulse and Hypnotist with the demon, and finding our lane in green-black ramp to demon also is fine. Yeah, I take aim for the head. I don't... Yeah, I take Flame Breather too. Maybe this isn't signally enough to get off color, but I just don't like these cards, and I do like green ramping to demon, so I'm going to hedge. Sure Strike. Like, we could take a Rural Recruit to follow that hedge if we believe in it. Rural Recruit is more of a plan alongside Demon in the sense of extra fodder to sack to the Demon and extra chumps to make it to the Demon. And then Villagers, though, yeah, is just... Yeah, it's playable, but I barely see this card. Yeah, this is probably your grudgingly playable for the set. We'll take it over the Recruit because this is just a little hedge. But like if the Recruit had been like that Blossom Mana Dork, we would be like, yeah, we did it. We're doing that. Here, I think I like Sure Strike as interaction over the Aim. Although Aim is in the... I really want to play the Demon in the Bleed Dry. The thing is, pack 1, pick 1, pack 1, pick 2. Black has really not been open. But this is so powerful... Like, we would pivot to it in pack 2 if it showed up. So I think we'll take the Aim to get some playability. And again, it's something to do on the way to 7. And I'm really going to try hard to cut the black on the way by in pack 2, knowing that it's unlikely to be there in pack 3. Ancestor is like the best card in this pack. We don't have any white cards yet. We could just take a Sharpshooter that is a little more on plan towards possibly that green-black plan. Yeah, Scob is interesting. I feel I'm going to take second green card over first card of a different color, but maybe it's not too late to pivot into those. Belligerent Guest, Dawnheart Disciple, Cloaked Cadet, all solidly playable. This is not good enough. Yeah, it's a little clunky, right? But Disciple or a Guest. You think Cadet's a big deal? Hat says. I haven't found it clunky. You know, try. Well, what do we end up with? We got one of those things, and then green or red. I don't know what we think is better right now. That's kind of yeah. Some differing opinions on the Cadet from chat. I have had mixed results. But it underperformed my expectations, but at times was quite good and drew me many cards. Drew several cards. I don't think we're ever playing that on the one, so I grabbed that. I don't think we're doing this either, though. Yeah, you really wanted that blood artifact. Maybe I should have. I kind of feel like the red-black hasn't been there, but then I'm talking about kind of effectively forcing black this pack, so I'm going to take Catapult Fodder given the lean into green. See, I think like the Catapult Fodder green plan supports the Demon better than the any of the direction my red is taking. Yeah, so 4/4 Celebrants keeps on the red plan, but this is, again, a non-bow with our best card. I'm finding our red to be pretty underwhelming and green to be open enough that I almost just want the Wolf Strike or the Catapult Fodder here. Yeah, let's take Wolf Strike. We get a second piece of removal. I really think Braid makes me question everything, though. Why couldn't this just be... If this were another Bleed Dry, that would be so perfect. Instead, it's a challenge to our direction. I don't like planning on a splash, especially since we have nothing to help with it yet, except the concept that we are in green. But maybe I take Abrade as just too good, given that we do have some red going on. Mind Leech Ghoul is like our backup plan, and that just feels too weak to take here in the face of an Abrade. So I'm going to take the Abrade, even though almost like I hope we don't play it. But then we have we can pick up an Evolving Wilds here. And then maybe if we do find we're only pack 2, pick 3. If we can find a Blossom or 2, the Werewolf Fixer Ramper, then maybe we get there. So I'm going to take this. You're taking that Werewolf. Yeah, I'm taking the Evolving Wilds to give myself the best chance to kind of be where I want to be. But maybe I'm forcing things here. Toxic Scorp. If I like my green plan, what do we like in the red here? There's Gargantua. We don't have any obvious lambs for the slaughter here. And then Ridgewolf. Yeah, we might just be red-green, somehow splashing the demon. Yeah, I'll take the wolf, but I don't love this either. I'm taking the best cards, and it's leaning me away from kind of where I want to be. Now I'm back towards, all right, are we on Celebrants here then? What a mess. I mean, black's not even flowing this way. My big plan was that black was going to be open this pack, but like Doomed Dissenters is not black being open. Didn't I have this one? That's true. Maybe if this is a bomb format, we consider playing that. But this is the best card. I'm going to take it. Infestation Expert has been pretty good in my experience. Blue pretty open, it would seem. Dissenter. Backdoor into some exploit, maybe. But I don't think either of those matter. Yeah, not the only demon. Maybe that's the case, Rob. Sure Strike is a playable trick. I don't think this is very playable. I haven't seen this do anything, so we'll take something that does something. Black might be overdrafted. It's pretty easy to want to fall into it because of Bleed Dry and Hero's Downfall at Uncommon, just pulling you early into removal picks. But yeah, this is a pretty late Celebrant, so we'll see. Maybe we're just green-red after all of this. Green-red, figure out... But man, I hate... All right, so what we'll do is instead open a green or red Stupid Bomb in pack 3, and then I won't feel so badly about this languishing demon. Another Nature's Embrace. We'll take it. Maybe we will just do a... Look, these cards are bad. Nature's Embrace is bad, but it allows us to play a 7-mana you win. I guess we'll take another Prisoner. Well, it's only pack 2. Pack 3 could surprise. Let's see. Oops. Did I get the right card at least? Oh, come on, Arena. Guy just wants to pick the card he intends to. Taxidermist is not a bad open here. Hero's Downfall to tease back to black. I mean, just mark off Retribution. Maybe I just take the red removal and we stick with, like, how many vamps do we have? Only 3 vampires, so maybe not that. Right now we only have actually 3 vamps. The 2 Celebrants and, like, a Blood Hypnotist that we're not even sure belongs. I'm going to take the Downfall. Maybe it'll be my Downfall, but that's some removal for sure. Wolf would be safe. Celebrants. Yeah, Sporeback for the 2s, which is why I put it into this view, or Pummeler. We don't actually have a lot of top end besides the Demon. Maybe we take a Pummeler here. There's not much going on up at 5 and 6 in this deck. So that's a job to do. I don't think I've ever played a Spore Crawler. I just never seem to, even though I play green and think this is fine, I just seem to not end up with it in the deck. And we're low on, well, not low on 3s, but still, I think it's probably the pick here, because I think we know we're green at this point. Now this might work. We're looking for wolf or werewolf, and for those, we've got 4 werewolves and 2 wolves. Yeah, Mana Rock was an option there too. I kind of was enamored with finally playing having a spot for a Spore Crawler. I think we have a good shot at some more wolves from here. I don't like it yet, but I think we'll get there. Ooh, now it's like, what are we? Are we Scavenger or are we Fearful Villager? I mean, Aim for the Head's not a great card. Downfall is, but, you know, I think we're actually on Villager and probably just deciding whether we're going to be greedy enough to play a Dreadfast Demon and a Bleed Dry off of Double Embrace. I guess we can play Downfall too in that case. Yeah, maybe the red's not good enough and we just go green-black. Here's another Nature's Embrace. Should I take the gift in that regard then? I certainly don't like those red cards, so we'll hedge towards that. Dead human doesn't feel very good. Even, we got a lot of humans, but I think Recluse then to shore up some 2s. Zombie is interesting as well. But I think I'm going to take the... Yeah, maybe the 2 I just took isn't really good enough without a lot of blood. But we might have some of that. But maybe I should have taken the 5. Well, blue was open for anybody who wanted it this draft. Mind Leech Ghoul is a playable 2. And I don't think... Well, let's see what we have. Right now, I'm hoping we can do green, black, splash a little red. Or if we're somehow really lucky, green, black, we made playables, but I don't think so. But we have some splashable red removal. A braid is splashable. So let's just see what happens when we cut the red, though. And we could add a dissenter, although we didn't. I mean, yeah, I mean, this could be a part of a suite of playables. And then we add a braid, bolt, and even impulse. Somewhat of a weird splash, but it's like card draw to help with attrition. I don't know. I think I like it over adding well, 13 creatures. We could just add a creature. I don't love this main because it's not a naturalize. If it was flying, artifact, or enchantment, yes. Although maybe there's not a lot of playable artifacts, but there's some. I don't know. When I just think of utility on these, this just feels like too low utility for main deck. Maybe I'm clinging to this main deck black. We do have the oh, I don't even like that, so that's got to go. This is still this double Nature's Embrace thing anyway. So given double Nature's Embrace, yeah, we could just call it we're double splashing in both directions. Like base green, embrace variance here after our talk about variance chess. It's the only way to survive this format is to embrace the variance. So that's what we're going to try and do deck-wise. Do I play Pummeler for 5 or 6 ideally? I don't know what that means. I mean, ideally, I play it for 77 R-stall. But what happens is you play it for wherever you can fit it in the curve. Yeah, it's a little bit of a weirdo. It's not that powerful. It's just that we are going to be running these embraces. So it kind of feels free that way. But I could go back to the impulse side of things, and then we're like with 6 pieces of removal in Fangs, Bolt, Abrade, Downfall, Bleed Dry, or maybe that, and Wolf Strike. That we play just the card draw to find removal, but again, as pointed out, real bummer to you get an extra turn. Yeah, it's true. We can just put in a Celebrant and not a Pummeler, and the 2 blood tokens doing some cycling wouldn't suck. It's kind of a weird thing to splash, though, right? But it's a indicator of just how our draft went, and that I was staying open for a long time. We can at least remember that Aim for the Head comes right in when we see a zombie deck. But we can certainly, yeah, I'm thinking about that, Tron, that I kind of just like disrupting the hand a bit. But having come up on the blood tokens, I also love the idea of tossing a couple of nigh-free, your stuff has cycling ones into the deck. That doesn't seem bad. And maybe we have the totals to do it. Let's see. So can we just add one? Oh, what I was going to add Aim, right? Oh, no, we did add one. So what about this? Not proud of it, but it supports our best card, and that's kind of what you have to do in this format. So yeah, let's. Is there anything that's just dumb that I'm like, oops, you left that in, Ryan, and that is just not a thing? Wolf, Werewolf count at 3. One of them being the Pack Song pup. This might not be a thing. I'm a little concerned about this ever doing anything. So let's pull that aside. Also, I should be in deck building here. I'll get out of your way a little bit. I'm just looking at Mind Leech Ghouls a little. Yeah, there's some. Boy, this deck just needed, like, these Nature's Embrace are interesting, but we just wanted Blossoms. If these 2 Nature's Embraces were the flip Blossom card, I would actually think I'd like this deck. As it is, grudgingly playable, but I continue to almost feel like as long as we're going to be like like this is better. If we're going to play the first one, pushing it to 4 is. But we have the double Nature's Embrace and the Taxidermist all representing 3 sources effectively for free as long as we're playing heavy green. And then 1 Mountain and an Evolving Wilds is 4/5. So I feel like 5 is pretty good, although some of our fixing is killable. The Disciples, or the Taxidermist especially. But I think we can go to... We could even add, I could do 2, but now we need the other colors too much. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Most green because of the way it fixes. We just, if we get stuck with a Nature's Embrace or a Taxidermist in hand, we're just dying, right? Literally and figuratively. So gonna do that. And then check for no blingies. All right, 7 swamps, 1 mountain, 8 forests. There we go. All right. A little par pull there for you. A little coffee for me. Oh, so good. Nice. Evolving Wilds 4 Forest. Double Embrace, maybe not so nice, honestly. Ragged Recluse, really a rough card to have in the deck, but hopefully we find those blood tokens to do something about making this a 3/3. The worst of our deck is pretty filler, I'll say that, contextually. I actually like this card a lot. Again, and if you're pretty sure you're going to have some blood going, I dig the Recluse a lot, but here it's pretty weak. Oh, just give us a little more land. Let's see, this is a human, so we'll start with this human and trigger that with the Recluse if we don't find a land for the Crawler or the Embraces. But I'm infrequently punished. Well, I was punished hard this weekend. This weekend was always punished. It was not infrequently or never. It was just... question, can Ryan be punished right now? Answer, yes. Let me show you. That was this weekend. How many openers did I have that were 2 or 3 land, but of only 1 color, right? Oh my god, all weekend long. Dominating Vamp. It's one of those rares that a lot of the time you play it, it's merely a common. In this case, a hard to cast 3/3. Which we'll make an offer for. Oh, you were thinking mountain there? I mean, you can't go for mountain, right? I mean, you got to get forest so that hopefully your Embrace unlocks the Abrade. That's the job of these cards that we have 2 of. Well, Rob.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
I disagree. I think we're mostly. All right. Montaigne. We can kill this thing, but heck, we're winning the race right now. Let's send in and then maybe drop the Crawler even. What I'm thinking is, let's see, is there value to hold, like if we get a 4th land and Embrace onto the 4th land, we can then Abrade, right? Yeah, so I'm going to Spore Crawler. I just like looking at, like, figuring out what your enchant lands can do if you enchant them on an untapped land is important. And in this case, we have a legit, you know, we have good removal to play. So I'm totally down for offering this race with Oppo and certainly taking this Spore Crawler trade if offered. We really would like to find another land. Wow, Oppo's super racing. So now we're kind of hoping we can't Abrade this, but I'll take the race. I mean, let's see, 4 mana, all red. I don't know, we gotta make him, I'm gonna make him have it. We also have, we draw black, we can just downfall it, right? 2 for 1. So I'm gonna take that and give us a chance to find some outs. I see how it's gonna be. Rough. That's gonna get 2. And there's not much we can do about it. Strike the 5/5. We don't... where are you getting your... I mean, it's not night, so... Don't see that swaggy. 1/4 and swing all. Why do you want to drop the trainee before swinging all if we drop the trainee? Is there a reason that I'm not understanding? Oh, human. Yeah, there we go. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, getting this to 3/3 matters somewhat, right? I see what you're saying. We're really splashing to fill out a deck that was short playables, is how I would say it, J. Dre. Okay. I think that is it. Media likes Nature's Embrace, no attack. We're kind of giving the 2-for-1 here, but yeah, if Sporecrawler is one of them, I can live with that. And then we get to keep the Disciple at least. They take the Recluse, which I was saying is kind of one of our worst cards in our deck anyway. We found the land out of it. All right. I can live with that. Can we, though? Let's see. Now, any basic land, and I think that's all we have left because we used our wild. So a land is Hero's Downfall now. So we're going to take this again and cross fingers. Oof. And oof on the no land. So, shoot. Now we can set up the Abrade. And, if we let that sacrifice happen, we can't respond with the Abrade, right? We need to just Abrade before the sack happens, right? You really want to attack all Media? Are you worried about a crackback? Because, I mean, we could just leave one back to chump. But regardless, let's do this. It's definitely starting here, right? And then does set us up to Hero's Downfall next turn, which is why I'm like, I'm curious why we want to be... Anyway, I gotta braid this now. Right? And Medi is saying attack, and it does put some counters there, and we can survive the crackback, but red is so hasty. Yeah, so I'm going to just say stay back. Put them to 2 and have 2 lethal attackers, yeah, but we're dead to haste against red? Or even a... I'm going to send... Well, I guess I'm not attacking. I feel like I maybe should have sent 1, but I ran out of time. My clock ran out, so I didn't attack. I didn't get to think about it as much as I would have liked. But I think I am playing the odds by just ensuring that we get to Hero's Downfall this vampire. That was my thought. And I'm going to go with the Disciple chump here. And save some life, because that's what I mean. I didn't want to lose to pump or whatever, or shock. This dies, deals 3 to target. Let's see. So Can we do it? This represents, you know, downfall. We have 3 mana besides the downfall. I guess we play a chump and downfall something. We could Nature's Embrace a sharpshooter for 3 and make it a 3/6, but 3/6 isn't quite there against 6/4, right? But we can downfall this, and then 3/6 bounces off this until we find a way to kill it. And then we go to, and we kill it, but we got to kill it this turn so it can't combine to kill the sharpshooter, right? No! Oh, it chose for me, gang. Sorry, this is me playing slow. Stream magic for the win. So now I'm going to play the wolf as a chump instead. I actually managed to cast it, and then my clock ran out. So I'm going to play a wolf chump. I think that's the best thing to do here now. Unfortunate, but let's see if we can make a fun comeback out of a... you think I don't chump? Yeah, maybe we do just need to presume they don't have it. Good call, Media. I was figuring like I had to because I was chumping before, but now, given the mistake, I need to not... I need to just take a chance, right? Yeah. So that's what I was playing around before, though, so it shows at least I wasn't... senseless, but I did screw up on timer there and it cost us. So let's see, black, red, pile? I don't know. Yeah, it seems weird that it would let me resolve the spell, then not choose for the spell. But maybe it only give me a tiny amount more timer bump. But I can't really complain. You know, you'll see me get pretty tilty about UI stuff when I feel like it's their fault, not mine. But that was me mismanaging my time, so I'm not gonna get on them too much about some weird race condition of trying to cast a spell at literal 0 seconds. So, generic, what do we have? We have like a crushing canopy, so it's really enchantments and flying. We saw them use enchantment, but I don't think it's worth bringing in. We didn't see some flyer that we need to sideboard against to defeat. Yeah, there's no reason for canopy yet, and we don't really have much else to do other than aim for the head is the other thing that we could increase. There's likely, I mean, there's one zombie. I don't think necessarily, unless we thought like we were just unhappy with this. I mean, I guess we could reduce the red splash and go presume there's more zombies in there. And cut a Celebrants for another aim for the head. But I think we can run it back and keep that in mind for a hopeful game 3. All right, this is an easy keep. We even get our Taxidermist as our 2-drop this time to, if it survives, turn everything on. And a Nature's Embrace to ramp and fix as well. Just need at least a 3rd land, but like 4, getting a couple more lands by turn 5 would be great. There's one of them. Magic God's on our side right now. Another one of our, what is this doing here exactly? I don't know. It's a 2-drop we can play. When we cast our demon, we sacrifice it and get that sweet, sweet 2/2 black zombie creature token. I bet if we do that, we can get Oppo to scoop because we got that extra value out of our doomed dissenter. Maybe not. But I can embrace, let's see, is there any reason to keep up 2? Yeah, I can embrace one of the swamps and then play the dissenter at least. We'll do that. Use all our mana and keep the ramp going. I mean, that's a lot of mana coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we draw a land, we'd have 6. Can't really do anything with it. I don't feel like the need to hold up bolt. Yeah, because we can do. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, only 5, unfortunately. So we can't. I would like to celebrance and bolt this guest, but we can't really. So let's bolt, hold up Hero's Downfall, and attack for 1, I guess. Or we, Celebrance is fine here. I'm going to do that. Use Fangs. That's a vamp. We don't want to do it there. So I'm going to Celebrance. I mean, this is a vampire that's been shopping for new fangs, Rob. New fangs, you say? Do tell. Are they sharp? Bad thing here is they could kill our Celebrants and swing in for some free blood, but, you know, make them have it, I guess. -13, -13, getting that out of their hand ahead of our better stuff down the road. Maybe that's fine. That's not bad for us to see. I mean, it's a good card for them, but we're going to be doing our share of value plays, and they didn't kill our Celebrants at least. It's funny, we got this, which leaves us without like this single red source, but maybe we go Blessed Bolt. Let's do red bolt and then cash in one of these bloods for this forest. And now we're going to cast the Recluse so we can just send the Taxidermist. Yeah, we actually flipped the Recluse. So having those Celebrants in there for that little bit of blood turns this really 24th card, honestly, and turns it into a good card. All right, we get game 3. We didn't really see anything else to suggest more copies of this Aim for the Head. I'm still fine with the 1, but I'm going to run this back. Oh yeah, as I've said, Animosity. The reason to crack Wilds immediately, and this is very real for me, very real for me. The EV from the lost EV from cracking my fetch early and like somehow giving my opponent information or putting a land in the graveyard that they can interact with in some positive way, right? There, like doing all that early gives some more options to Oppo, but that downside is not even close to the downside of me completely forgetting to sack it at Oppo's end step and not having 2 mana, or not having that mana on the following turn. So it's really just a protection against, it's knowing thyself. I know it's not optimal in terms of game strategy, but it's optimal in terms of my personal EV. I'm sure of it. You say you're not a troll, Media, but that felt like a troll. I told you exactly why, and you didn't respect it at all. You told me not to be that bad. That's trolling. I'm going to keep this on the strength of the demon, but I wish we had more to do early. Hey, we have something to do early. Yeah, it scares me, but I'm keeping it. Oh, a little floody. That's also to be expected. Oh, it was only a 4-lander. Juntron here. They're not doing anything, so I could get away with not... But I feel like getting 2 of their 5 cards is probably good enough here. Let's do it. Ooh. Probably worth downfalling that, but we can wait until they, yeah, sorry. This is like the first time I've ever cast it. I forgot I had it.
In the head!
Thanks for the reminder. I'll reject that for the freebie. But yeah, we're going to let him hopefully equip up and sack a blood token, and then we'll downfall. That's nice, Animosity. That's awesome. That is not bad. I like it. Yeah, it's a cult hit. I mean, I don't know how much of a blockbuster, you know, success it was that way, but I loved it. I think it's a classic. I think it's got a cult following here, sure. Oppo smart. Didn't play into our removal, but I'm still plucking that thing off here. I just want to survive till demon, so, you know. And we have now the 7 mana. We're going to take some smashings first, though. Maybe they'll play something we can bolt. But, if they don't add to this board, we survived a demon. But yeah, no sack fodder is also like, are you serious? Like, we need to draw something, or we don't even have sack fodder for it. Doesn't bolting kill the vampire? This does 2. It's not that kind of bolt. So how about our Death Toucher? Let's draw our little weenie 2-drop Death Toucher, play it, Wolf Strike this thing, and then waltz to Dreadfast Demon victory. That's the plan. Let's see if we can execute. Or if Oppo plays anything else, please let it be killable. Okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Just don't add to this board. One time! Oh, deck. We're going to place Dreadfast Demon with no fodder. What a horrible way to lose a match. We might find, like, if we find something else to do, we'll do that. Like, hopefully we find a creature with 3 power that can Wolf Strike, or even anything that we can Wolf Strike plus Bolt, and then sack it the next turn. So really, even though we have a castable demon on 7, we're praying to draw a worse creature. Come on, Magic Gods, not like this. I'm trying to have a good attitude about the format, but not like this, okay? Come on. Like this. That's how it's going to be. Like this. Like this. We're not dead, but it's really disappointing. But if they're out of action, I mean, the thing is with this blood, they have so much action to actually defeat a demon. So here's how I'm going to try to find some joy in what I think is likely going to be a loss here, which is that Oppo has a great story if they can beat this demon. Let's either try to still survive this and hang on and let our bomb do its thing somehow, some way from here, or tip the cap and say, good work, Oppo, you got yourself a demon. Lost both games to a sure strike. Unreal. I'm going to try and find it within myself to keep streaming, but that is a savage gut punch. No, I don't think so. You can have your money back, though. Jesus. Well, that's how you beat that card, I guess. Wow. We'll keep this. And this is where I kind of loathe best of three, even though this is where it's been most of my life. Like, most of my life has been this of Magic. But the thing I love most about best of one is I could shake it off and still go for the trophy. I hate that the trophy's gone. There's no max win for me. It's over. But that's just the way it was forever. So that's just me not adjusting to the new as well. So I kind of like, now this is an interesting spot mana-wise. We can go Nature's Embrace on a land and have 2 left over for a Taxidermist or a Scorpion. That's kind of the way to max the mana. But if Oppo's not doing anything, getting a Spore Crawler out makes some sense. But let's head in with these and see what they do about them. If they have a Destroy Attacker removal, maybe it impacts how much of a race, you know, how much we want to get aggressive versus spend all of our mana and ramp. Yeah, see, with that, it almost makes me just want to play another Spore Crawler. Since they didn't, right? And we could, they're at 13, we can add 6-8 to the board. And if we do any of these plays, like I'm adding 1 to the board, and then what, I guess we can play Scorpion. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the aggressive play here. That makes sense to me, given the lack of removal shown from Oppo. Huh, all right, well, they went for that. We got the damage in regardless, okay. They were doing the find something better thing. And we're gonna just offer the Crawler first. I guess since we could draw a card, maybe the... Although 2 Swamps is a little scarier in terms of their decisions, but I think they decide to block the Crawler or they don't. I guess I could have Scorpioned up the Wolf, but I'm hoping they take the Crawler trade. They didn't, so now I'm gonna go... Embrace on a Forest. And we'll do Taxidermist and have the Scorp play for next turn. That one's not in yet, even though I like it a lot, because I didn't get the audio adjusted. I know I have launched some other ones since, but it just is one of those things on my list I haven't done yet. I know you sent me a new batch too, so I'll try to catch up on that other stuff when I get that new batch in. I've just been Really, my life has been dominated by too many other higher profile things than meme updates, unfortunately, and I'm feeling behind as always. So let's scorp up. Now, I guess we scorp up the crawler. This is getting worse and worse for us, and we're flooding again. Lovely. But I'm going to make the crawler annoying and send that in. Sharpshooter now has a question to answer. I'll take that too. This attacked for more damage, and the Spore-backed wolf, I mean, if we're going to give a death touch, why not give it to the... Here, now you can have part 2, okay? And it's free.
We will say goodbye to flesh and blood.
Might be playing too many lands. We have 2 ramp auras and the taxidermist, so we have 19, or we have 20 sources of mana in the deck. So as much as I can play the flood out memes, to an extent I'm doing it to myself, so we could consider going to 16. But I also don't love dropping our overall swamp count, forest count, and our mountain count is already at 1. And I really think I want to take out this 2/5 if possible. I don't trust this attack, though. Kind of feels like they're going to do something to blow this out. But I don't know how you can blow out a 2/2, a 2-mana 1/1. So, like, whatever. We'll trade for whatever they've got. I think that's actively good for us. Hey, look! I'm so good at Magic, see? Just when you thought you weren't doing well. Sorry, Goner. I mean, Gooner, but you're a Goner, Gooner. Let's attack first, though. Ryan, come on. Taxidermist can grow eventually. I don't think it matters too much. We just kind of win, but... I guess maybe there's Wraths. There's the black-white Wrath. I think it's 6, though, right? Well, they're sticking with it. Maybe they can race. Maybe they can get some overrun here. Yeah, I guess we probably want to, this is probably more important than their hand. If they've got something for the demons, getting 2 of their 4 cards isn't going to make them discard the thing that helps them potentially win against the demons. Yeah, it's definitely part of their problems, Pablo, that this type of limited power level should at least be... Mythic, I think. It doesn't read Mythic like necessarily as complexity these days, but I can see how they justified it at rare, but yeah. It's exponential 6/6 flying demons. Heck, make it a... Mythic, you could probably make it a flying 5/5 6-drop that does the same thing. And then it continues to crush limited in stupid ways, but half as often, and then it's maybe more interesting and constructed. But maybe they didn't want this to be interesting and constructed. I don't know. In any case, what are we seeing over here? We did see a zombie. They're kind of heavy black, but I'm not seeing like this is a zombie deck, so I'm going to do the run it back thing again. I didn't see any flyers either, so. Geometric, not exponential. Isn't it exponential though? Because it, like, assuming you had ultimate endless fodder, it goes 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Is that geometric and not exponential? I thought squaring it was exponential, but maybe I don't know my maths. Okay, they're similar, but gotcha. Well, there you go. I took 2 math courses in college, and that was it. Everything else is self-taught, so go easy on me. But I always love to get things right on that front. I guess Recluse attacks for more, so we'll start here. And we can give it Death Touch and be like, go ahead, block. I will attempt to remember the definitional difference of geometric and exponential. Math is for blockers and certainly not for philosophy majors. What is math? If a 1 plus 2 added up in the forest... Wait, what? Looks like we racing. All right, 2 spell turn. We could go for 2 of their 3 cards in hand, but it seems likely they'll go draw and then like play a land and 1 spell, or either draw and not play a land and play 1 spell. So there's some 2 spell turns where Gunnar goes below 2 cards in hand, but I think we can save this for next turn and just double spell creatures here this turn. But yeah, we can attack first. And I suppose on that front, I shouldn't even play the land. Just thinking about aim and how their sequencing could affect that. One reason to aim for the head is if we feel like we could get value out of the Death Touch trigger, the ETB trigger on Toxic, we could set that up for later. But I still just kind of like 2 spelling here. You'd make him exile 2 cards. Hodge doesn't even want to risk it. I'm going to 2 spell, partly because I also want defense. So I'm going to do it this way. Playing 2 creatures out means that the Geist can't really attack. Being up a game or down a game should never impact your decision in a game. There's a decision that increases your chance to win this game or decreases it. What happened in the last game and what might happen next game should never impact what you're doing this game. I mean, right? You just want to make the play that gives you the best chance to win. Full stop. Please don't get actually on me. Was I really not clear? Whether or not you won the last game and whether or not you may or may not win the next game should not impact your EV decisions in your current game. Now we aim for the head, yes. See what we get. Although, you know, you kill the kill Scavenger, not the worst, but I think getting 2 cards probably better. Oh, now the math folks are still... So I still don't know the definition of exponential versus geometric. I'll have to look it up later. Chat doesn't seem to agree. Are we racing, or are we just still trying to block this Geist? We're about to get this Saw ripped, and if they tap our Death Toucher, the 3/2 doesn't get any blocking done anyway, although it would block the other one, right? They tap the Scorp, this is up, we can't block whatever's wearing the Rip Saw, but we trade for the other one. And at 22 to 14, we probably need to try and do some trading. So I'm going to leave both back because we're not winning this race, especially against a Ripsaw. So I think we have to try to be defensive and hope we draw some extra help. And I like their attack because, like, letting this trade just means they replay it on here, but it also means we get outs to, like, 1 piece of removal solving our problem. So I like this. This is fine. This is how it's going for us sometimes here, though. So now they're going to spend their whole next turn on this. If they draw land, right now they can't cast it, so we're going to leave this back and hope that it can double block with a Spore Crawler and actually kill that thing. Oh no, sorry, it doesn't have Menace. I was thinking, I saw the skull and was thinking Menace, but we can even single block. But anyway, no attacks. If I chump too much though, Pablo, then the demon is just a 6/6. Oh, they found it. All right, well now we're on draw removal or trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and chump with the Spore Crawler and go deeper into our deck. Oh, they're doing the trample. That's still fine. We're gonna absorb some damage and give us extra chances to find our outs. So now they can't... Yeah, we're still alive. We're still mostly...
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Wah wah, I was flooded. Ha ha. He says, about to chump for the second turn in a row. At least it's not trampling this time. We have downfall and we have -13, -13. We have a couple of outs here. That, however, not one of them. Let's go to game 3. I'm going to keep this in hand. I don't know. Let's make him do it. Yeah, Wolf Strike was actually a 3rd removal out. So we had 3 outs to stabilize. Anything change? Not really. Let's hope we get him. Nah, we've got 2 wolves in the deck. It is not a wolf deck at all. It was like the final cut when I was going through saying, is there anything dumb in here that actually just we can't really run? And then that was it. It might be better than the Recluse even, although we've added some blood so the Recluse can actually flip, but All right. Keeping this. Can ramp to a expert and gift up something non-vampy early. And we drew our bomb. Just got to make sure with their aim for the head that we don't leave the demon as one of only 2 cards in our hand. Yeah, try and do that. You're late, Taxidermist. You would have been the perfect play for last turn. As it is, we could go Taxidermist, kill Infantry. And, you know, gift, it's half a card. But if we're just trying to tempo to Demon, makes some sense to take that trade. So I like that. I can just show him the Jund, though. Let's do it this way. All right. Infestation Expert does keep us with 2 cards to give up to save the demon and provides a nice pair of creatures to throw at this, show this Geist. And hopefully make some fodder for a future demon. I was wondering if they were stuck on 3. They hadn't played a land yet. Looks like they're not stuck on 3. We can embrace and still keep 2 protecting the demon. If we send the 3/4, we could scorp up as well, but then we lose our demon protection. We know they play aim for the head, Haj. I really don't want to lose our demon to a well-timed aim for the head from Gunnar. So I'm going to play around. Like if we double spell here, we're soft to that. So I'm only going to play the 1 embrace, and then the question is, yeah, do we send the 3/4? Probably. I don't think they double block, right? And if they do, we're happy. So I'm going to start by sending the expert. We make it a 2nd token, and if they want to completely wipe the board here ahead of our future demon, that seems great. And we're going to throw this on. I like doing it this way just to make sure I know what's up. So yeah, we could totally play another thing, but I'm trying to prevent us from having to exile the demon from our hand in would really be a self-own, given that we know they play aim. And we're still just a basic land draw away from getting there, and if not, we can play the 2nd embrace next turn, still keep the demon protected, and drop it the turn after. They're not playing blue at least, so it's not going to get countered. They did. They did, Haj. That's what I said. It is known. They are known to be playing it, not just playing around air. No worries. Important factors. This is why we love this game. That tiny little detail changes our entire approach to sequencing here, and how conservative we're being in attempting to get this demon going. Yeah, I'm still going to do this. I mean, we get to crack back with the expert anyway for more fodder. We found our land. Yeah, I almost didn't care. I was just like, yeah, you can get as big as you want. We're about to start demoning. Good luck all in. Just making sure I couldn't attack with the taxidermist. Oh, I was thinking I was doing two. Obviously, I should have done the tapped one, but somehow in my head I was already had two demons. Getting ahead of myself. Which is too bad because, like, I probably would have chumped with one. I don't think it matters though. We're gonna let him have a big chunk of life here, and then things do just start to get absurd from here. I mean, they got some stuff, but we just get so absurd so quickly with this dumb card. And now we get to go Scorp on Expert. And do we want to use Nature's Embrace to get something else big? I don't think so, just because I can play the Sharpshooter, which plays D, and we just want stuff to sack to demons in the end. So we'll send all of this. Another shooter. I mean, a shooter, and I owe you a meme for that.
How are we doing this? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. Where is it? I lost it in the silence.
Yeah, I think I'll make a couple more demons. That seems like I think I'll do that. Oh wait, it's not even a May. The card sucks. Man, let him find somehow +4 and unblockable and win this game. Again, I would just have to salute that so hard. Probably just a chumperoony. We could throw a demon in front. I guess let's throw a demon in front and try to end this. Yeah, and I guess they don't have Death Touch, so might as well double. Yeah, 2 demons. Correct. Demons to spare around these parts. Why not 3 demons? Well, we only have 2 that can block. I don't know. But when you're not sure, seems fair. So I completely missed the conversation about geometric and exponential. Does someone want to TLDR it for me in a succinct sentence or two? Because I would like to understand the difference. Pedantic difference, okay. Here, I'll give you. You giving some math, tech, and tips and definitions. I'm going to give you. I was trying to understand the difference. Okay, so when do you use a dash? For example, if I say I have a credit card, there's no dash in that sentence. But if I say I need to make a credit card payment, there is a dash in that sentence. When credit card, as a 2-word phrase, is an adjective for what the noun is after, the payment, right? You connect credit card via a dash to represent it as a descriptor of the payment that comes after, right? But I also didn't. The thing that confused me is I would see something like Rarely seen monkey, right? Does rarely seen monkey need a dash? And this is the part I didn't understand, and I asked my friend and former colleague Kelly Diggs to help me understand it because he was an editor in RD. And it's that if the phrase describing the noun contains an adverb like the ly, you don't need to use the dash because the adverb there, the ly word, connotes the upcoming description of the noun. So that was a late life. I finally understand when to use a dash and when not to use a dash in describing nouns. There you go. Some English training in response to the math stuff. All right, let's try to get one more win and get some gems out of this, shall we? All right, this looks fine. A 2 into a 3. Well, it doesn't look fine. It looks flood risky, but I can't throw it back. We're going to keep. We got a 2 or 3. We can go into emote mode for a little bit. 93 if you want to see some emote spam. Yeah, I'll be saying 93. You can't trick me. Well, I mean, one can use the name produced by the Snoop Dogg translator or not. You know, there's choices in life. That's funny. Well, I hope you get to hang out with Snoop Dogg sometime and tell him to please refer to you by your Snoop Dogg name. All right, let's crawler it up here. We are flooding a little bit here. We got 7 mana now and a Nature's Embrace. As I said, like, maybe we should be cutting a land from this. I just don't... I imagine it would be Rizzy? Or... Rizzle, yeah. We're 17 lands with 2 Nature's Embrace and a ramp creature. Maybe we just cut a Nature's Embrace, but we are splashing, so we're a lot of necessary evils in this one. Thank you for that sub. I guess I could have cast this. I'm kind of waiting to use this as a creature enchantment now, though, or until I find a red card that makes me need to. I'm just gonna stay. I guess I could send the crawler. I guess I'm happy if it trades with either of these, so we'll send. I should have figured that out before I cast anything. Might as well have 4 mana threatening Shane and representing it on the attack rather than 2, but I mis-sequenced there.
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
Well, good thing we got some more land. We're gonna go get our mountain with that and thin our deck of land a little bit. Happy to trade Recluse for either of these creatures, so we'll send both and leave the send all but Scorpion. Leave Scorpion back on D. It was Smash! Thanks for the sub, Smash. Alright, I'll take this. In fact, I'm going to crack the wilds now so that to thin lands before I draw off the Spore. Bleed Dry up is nice. Exiling the Skulker. Against blue, you could make a case for casting the Bleed Dry while shields are slightly down, but I'm going to go for the benefit of causing them to only single attack with the Skulker, leaving the Storm Chaser Drake back, trying to make the Skulker unblockable through the Scorp. So it worked, and now we get to see if I am punished for trying, though. If shields have been completely down, I probably just go for it, although because there's the self bounce. But since the self bounce was castable with the mana they had up on our turn, I figured go for the attack thing. But there you go, Syncopate. Syncopate would have gotten us too, though, actually, if we had tried that, because we would have had to tap out to do it. This is... Let's see. Let's think through my turn here before doing anything. We interestingly, like, just leaving the Scorpion back continues to say they've got to do one or the other on Skulker Drake. So we're going to do that, but just send in the Recluse. Happy to trade that off for the Drake, of course. So no shocker that they're just taking it. And now we're going to see if we can get there on Experts. Maybe it's time to... I don't know why I'm not doing anything with this Embrace. Like I said, it was partly to wait for Mountain, but now we have that. So now this should just go on a creature. I think part of it is just my dislike of auras, right? Somehow I'm like, well, I don't like auras. So but Ryan, what are you doing with this card? Play it on something and do something. Wolf Strike. Okay. That gives us some play here, especially in the face of the Scavenger that was going to start disrupting our Expert. But maybe we just still need to get rid of the Skulker. Trouble is, Wolf Strike doesn't exile it. I was really excited about the Bleed because it was going to exile this thing. If we strike it, it just disturbs onto something else that, and especially the Drake, right? And then that's trouble. Yeah, I do love the Skulker for this. I mean, if you're on defense, you're in Hill Giant mode, but you're still in Hill Giant mode that has something to do later if you stabilize, right? But when you're aggressive, if you can be a little bit controlling in general and then just win through the Skulker, I do like that plan. I got 2 hourglasses here, so I think we need to do the Embrace and probably have to strike on their turn to maximize the amount of turns off from the Skulker that we even get. Maybe I'll send in the Expert and just offer the Scavenger here and be like, that would be fine too. Like, getting that off the board so that we have a way to eventually attack to win. So I am going to offer this. And I can Embrace up a token to give it some value. The Recluse could become a 4/3, but 3 is not the right toughness to be aiming for. I'd rather almost upgrade a token into something real. I think I'm going to do that. And we're going to try kind of the same thing we tried with the Bleed Dry, with a less effective removal spell for the target in terms of the Wolf Strike versus the Bleed Dry. But Rob, the token was free, so effectively I turned this card into a 3/3. If they want to kill it, okay. If they want to use a card to kill it, okay. I like spreading it around. Now, they might even just replay this right now on the Storm Chaser Drake, which would be okay by me. Ooh, hey, speaking of bombs, we could lose to this one. Well. All right, Shane. Looks like you got us in one. We could bring in, I like finally bringing in our flyer thing, but there's no need to show them anything else. We're just, this is over. Welcome to the format. They beat us to their bomb before we could find ours. Again, by setting that expectation at the front of this video, I'm not tilted very much by anything that's happened today. The flooding has been a little bit rough here and there. We had the very, I think that the tiltiest I was when like somehow we resolved a demon and lost because of our terrible creature luck, but just a little variance. Let it go. Crushing Canopy over Aim, I think, is the easy swap. But let's see if was there any zombies there's this one, of course. So maybe we keep, they got enough zombies in blue-black to probably leave this in, maybe even run both. If we do that, what do we could even cut the, cut a Celebrants, reduce our red splash a little bit. Reduce our mana a little bit. Kind of like this. We've been flooding heavily, but I want the 9 sources of green because our 3 extra fixing is all green. So I'm gonna try this. What did we have to rummage? Do we have a blood token? Maybe I forgot we had a blood token or something. We can keep this Scorpion, any land, Embrace to turn on the red cards and good removal. Like, this solves that problem on 4 that's possible. Oh, I don't think we had that mana then. But maybe I had an out there I didn't see. All right, Magic Gods. I'll even take an Evolving Wilds if you must, but basic land would be super sweet here. Thank you, Magic Gods. Much appreciated. Let's embrace up a swamp. Generally, you want to embrace up whatever you have multiples of. I'd like the land to keep flowing as well. Another basic means we could just go Celebrants. I like holding up Bleed... Oh, I found the land so we can go Celebrants. Holding up Bleed Dry in the face of the egg is an interesting option, because then if they put an exploit creature on the stack, we can Bleed Dry the egg and leave the spirit as the thing that they can exploit if they want to. Ideally, it would be they had nothing else, and then you kind of get them. Spirit might still be good enough to sacrifice that play is not quite worth it. I think I'm going to go with the early Celebrants and give them a window on the egg, and hopefully we can at least bleed dry the resulting 4/4 if they do something silly here. But like Scorpion, probably the worst thing. Well, if you... there it is. Calling out my doom. But if you can get them to play... If the creature kind of needed to die anyway because it was a good creature, and you turn their exploit creature into a fairly medium creature, I think that's a fine result. And now, though, we can bolt the Stinger and bleed the Serpent and still be fine, and even potentially get him in a 2-for-1 here. I'm gonna. I'm being not very thoughtful, Eric. It's kind of streaming lack of thought with these blood tokens. I should have thought that through. But let's. I am gonna with both Abrade and Bleed Dry up, send in the Celebrants and hope we can get some blocks out of them. But this is what I kind of figured. This is what I would do. Is like, Shane's like, you want to race? I got some race here. But all of this is instant speed, but their shield's down, and we saw the syncopate in game 1. So I'm also not going to wait. Yeah, playing the land might have been correct regardless, but certainly me not thinking about it was a mistake, right? That's the classic Ryan mistake. Not doing the thought process, even if the end result is okay. But yeah, I'm going to wreck their team a bit here while shields are down. I'm actually looking at potentially we could bolt the Disturb creature and Abrade the Stinger later. Or we can bolt the Stinger and not worry about the Bearer for now. Interesting choice. Also don't have much going on in the air. Yeah, I think I've actually convinced myself now that the play here is bolt the Lantern Bearer, Bleed Dry the Serpent. Because not only is it flying and bothering us in a way that's tough for us to deal with, if we don't exile it, it does it again, but on something bigger. Well, my issue now is we're heavily out-carded. Those 2 blood tokens are going to be important. And actually, you know, with how we did end up playing the turn, I wish I had kept the land to pitch to a blood token. Could matter very much as we're trying to withstand this card disadvantage and keep this event going without the tragic 0-gem result. Well, Sporeback is at least something to play. I'm not going to send it away via blood. We just want to make sure we're doing stuff. That's true. If I didn't play the land, I wouldn't have had the mana to cycle. Nonetheless, I wish I had the land this turn. So even though, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it then, having the land available for cycling, I wish I had. We'll do this, though, and we have the Abrade. The shields are down again. If we just want to get rid of... Now it might be the farmer that we need to get rid of. We can also send the Celebrants again. If they double block, they kind of get us. They could double block with 2 3/3s, and it would be a 1-for-1. If they triple blocked, rather. If they triple blocked with these 2 and anything else, the Abrade's not that great. I kind of like getting rid of the farmer here while shields are down, because that can flip into 4 power and then threaten attacks. But I also might be using my removal early. Still, this leaves them with only the Steelclad Spirit for attacks. Yeah, that's bad too. I mean, they're just getting card advantage here that's going to be really rough for us to overcome. But we got cycle 1 on all of our cards. Hey, thanks, Pablo. Pablo figured it out. I was all worried. Can't cast it yet, though. We're going to get there, though. We'll get there now. Just gotta survive. Gotta fade some aim for the heads. Don't aim for my head, Oppo. Shane, you stay away. Yeah, certainly knowing that we have to get to 7 mana to cast our demon is another factor in considering the looting, the rummaging. But generally, I still want to rummage lands because we don't know where the demon is. If it's 20 cards down, we really want to be rummaging away land because you're still going to find land on the way. Okay, that's good. Them tapping out of blue. So now we just need to find ourselves a basic off the top. One time! All right, I'm so good. I am good at magic. What are we sacking? The wolf, probably? Yeah, wolf. I'm sorry, Shane. See how we played Magic for a while and then it didn't matter? Magic, then roll a d10, and if it comes up 10, you win instead. We rolled a 10 that time. I guess I'm going to run it back, though. We made our swaps, and I still like them. Yeah, invalidating all plays before and after for, what, 15 mana minus a discount or whatever, so that seems a lot more reasonable. Wait, no, I'm conflating my Emrakul's. OG Emrakul is just straight 15, right? Oppo going first. We have some draws. We have our demon in hand. We have even a Nature's Embrace. Like, but it's still asking a lot. If we don't have exactly, land on top, we got to throw this back is the bottom line. This is worse. So we got to keep this. Ditch the Celebrants if we can't cast. Ditch the Disciple. I guess is Disciple or Wolf better? We got to keep one of these, but we got to keep the Expert, as this is the type of card that can get us back into the game after the disappointing mulliganing. So I think Wolf has a little better generic utility than the human, so we're going to do that. Okay, a little more land is part of what we needed.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
There's like instant speed pump or anything. The point is I'm just sending the wolf. I don't need to scorp it. I'd rather have the mana open. What are we even hoping for at this point? Just to survive long enough to find and cast our demon, I suppose. That hope is not looking great, though. I'll go ahead and send the wolf. Should have figured out my attack before any action, but there you go. Hardest Magic format that I play? Vintage Cube. I mean, if you want to keep all the options open, it's the hardest one, I think. All right, well... we're just gonna get clocked and lose in the air here without some serious help very soon. This deck could have used the 6-drop life gainer, you know, to get some life back in these spots. Mercadian Masks Limited is a hard format. It's not fun. There's just so much fiddly stuff going on, so many onboard activated abilities. Some medium range limited formats before R&D really had their chops on limited can be pretty rough for taxing your brain. Is what one of the reasons Mercadian Mask was honestly such kind of a failure in that way. Well, Gift of Fangs, close, you know? Red Source would have kept us alive. Gift of Fangs, no, it doesn't, right? We're still, do we have Flyer Blocker? I mean, we're at 3. How do we stop 3 power in the air next turn? I don't see it. So, I'll send in anyway. Don't even have a vampire we could throw this on to try and get extra damage from. So close. So close. One of those days, gang. I suppose it's Magic Justice. We had the stupid demon and didn't even win 2 matches with it. Maybe there's Magic Justice in this, but we've lost this game, sadly. Or this, yeah, we've lost this game, which is losing this match, which is ending this event. I guess we'll play to the heart attack / internet outage / power outage. Oh, look, they figured it out. Well, if you go in feeling like it was all pretty random anyway in this format, it takes the sting out of a result like that. Not entirely. I never am happy about that, but hopefully we, you know, had a little fun along the way. But pretty underperforming for having that demon. But the rest of the deck had some rough low end, right? We had an excellent top end. We had some good removal throughout, you know, 6 pieces of strong removal. 6 pieces of strong removal, a little bit of card draw, or card flow, I should say, you know, with the blood tokens. But not enough today, gang. Not enough. A very disappointing 1 and 2 for the big goose egg in gems. How am I supposed to get to 1 million gold if I'm going to 1 and 2? Did I enter my code? Probably not. Is it still around? Is there some free code I'm supposed to be entering? Is it like apologies for things sucking? There's only 2 reasons to hoard gold over gems. First, gold is a bigger number, and so if I want to be a millionaire in Arena, hoarding gold is chaseable. And Arena opens, as they are structured right now, have a 25% discount for gold entry. So the other reason I do it is to have a resource available to really fire as many bullets into an Arena open as I want. But once I drop below about 5,000 gems on an account, I start going back to gold to try to... So, because there are some gem-only things available that you want to make sure you can do if you want to. Sorry you broke your game. Here's some stuff. Oh, I got my first, like, sticker. What the heck? I've never had a sticker before. They've never given me one. And I would never buy such a thing unless chat can do some winning on Fridays. What gold equals versus gems depends on how you want to measure that. From a store standpoint, you can start by saying, you know, but you just look at one event, look at an event basically. Like if we go to this, you see that 1,500 gems is 10,000 gold, so 150 is 1,000, so 15 is 100. So then 3 is 20. 3 to 20 is kind of a default ratio. I did earlier Arcanite, but it's a good time to mention it again for all around. I will not be streaming Thursday or Friday this week, okay? Yeah, so I look at the draft to come up, because this is what matters to me. This is the conversion that matters to me. But if you were a heavy constructed player, maybe what matters to you is like this conversion, right? Because I play constructed. It's all going to be similar, but it might be a little bit touch different from one event to another. Yep. I love Thanksgiving. It's got some, you know, the relationship between settlers and indigenous North American people is tragic and awful, and somehow Thanksgiving is in some ways rooted in that, but I've pulled back from the origins of the holiday and some of the questions therein to really embrace the thankfulness of it. To me, it's like Thanksgiving, I've always said it to me, is like Christmas, but whereas you replace the consumption of Christmas with thankfulness on Thanksgiving, and I like that a lot. I like that more. Make a meal with people you love and take a day to reflect on what you're thankful for, I think is a lovely holiday idea. That's what I'm going to be doing on Thursday, and then recovering on Friday. And I hope you Americans are finding something to do on Thanksgiving to find some thankfulness for yourself, and for you non-Americans, well, take a moment to be thankful for something on Thursday, and you'll be celebrating it along with us, right? I have a lot to be thankful for, such as streaming for 3 years. My streamiversary was over the weekend. It was my son's birthday yesterday, and my stream shares its birthday with my son, so for easy remembering. So yes. Anyway, thanks YouTube friends. Catch you the next one. We'll try and get some gems on our next effort.